Yo, my name is Ashy, and I'll give my thoughts on Witches Sabbath. Witches Sabbath is like a short story that was published in Grimoire NieR, a book that was published only in Japan. This story is about a preacher who visited the area one day and became fascinated when he heard about the villagers talking smack about Kaine. I think it's a pretty interesting story that gives a lot to how the villagers feel about Kaine, especially since the preacher was actually able to be like one of the rare people in their world to actually open up with Kaine. I think that's pretty interesting. Let's get started. Oh, and before we get started, obviously spoilers for NieR Gestalt and NieR Replicant in this video. Alright, so our story starts off with this preacher. This preacher one day visited the area because he's the kind of guy that, like, he wants to save people. He always sees the good in people, someone like that. Heck, even people say that, like, they see smartness, toughness in him. And because of that, it makes him have more common sense compared to other people in the world, which I think that's pretty interesting. It makes a lot of sense for later on. So he visits the area and he hears about this one lady who's half human, half shade. And he's pretty fascinated by it. He wants to know more about this lady. So he goes around the area, asking people who's who is she. And the more and more they like express who Kaine is, the more he like feels sympathy for her, feel like really bad for her. And he wanted to help her, he wanted to go see her, obviously, especially if he wants to help someone. So he talks to this one guy named Dima, and he takes him to go see Kaine at her house. So then he takes her there, and of course, because in NieR's world, of course you're gonna get attacked by shades. So of course they get attacked by shades, but Kaine shows up at the right time, and she somewhat saves them. And she kills the shade, talks smack, stuff like that. And it goes pretty well, except she got like a cut on her leg. So of course the preacher like being that kind of guy, he tries to help Kaine and wraps a scarf around her leg. And Kaine didn't say a single word, like she is not fazed by it. And while the preacher keeps talking, she's just not gonna say anything. And so, he takes her back to her place. They sleep for the night. And then, like late into the night, he wakes up. Now he wakes up expecting Kaine to be right next to him. But no, she's not there at all. So he looks around trying to see where Kaine is. Then he heard this weird noise. So him like hearing those kinds of noises, he thought that she was in pain from the cut on her leg. So, of course he runs to her immediately. And then he puts a smile on his face because you see that Kaine was like somewhat smiling. But as soon as he looked down, he he sees Kaine's beating it, bro. She's going ham on her. Now the thing that I really liked about this story is that I went to full detail about like how big and how detailed Kaine's dick is. I thought that was like really funny, nice little touch. And so like him looking down, like of course in like this world, like they don't know what like intersex is or anything like that. So like her having a female look with a male genitals, of course it's gonna like freak him out. He doesn't think that she's human at all. Because of that, he freaks out. It's like having a mental breakdown, panic attack, everything. And the more he sees it, the more he just runs away and never talks to her again. And that's tragically where our story ends off. I think it's really tragic, honestly. Feel bad for Kaine. Now my thoughts is that I think it's a pretty good story. Outside of like NieR and Mill and the people, like some people in Facade, like not a lot of people really like Kaine all that much in that world. They still think she's a monster. Like even when she's been stuck in the library for 5 years, People already know what she looks like. Most people probably already know what she looks like. They still hate her. So like seeing that like someone's actually able to like look past Kaine shade, like being half shaped, like actually like Kaine for who she is, before like being revealed to the other side, obviously. I think it's really interesting. But it really shows how tragic Kaine is as a character. As growing up with your grandma dying, you being possessed, you having to go through many thoughts, you having to like show pleasure. I think it's all like well constructed into who Kaine is as a character. This is not the first time Yoko Taro has like done something like this, so obviously I think he's a genius for that. But yeah, Grimoire NieR is a pretty good book. Gives you a lot of good stories on NieR Gestalt slash Replicant's world. My personal favorite from there actually is The Red and the Black, which I might review one day. Who knows? But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.